All right, on today's episode, we have another eBay treasure to unearth. Now, if you don't have patience because you have a TikTok attention span, I'm going to try to speed up the video a little, so I might sound like a chipmunk. All right, so let's get into the unboxing. Well, here we go. Look at this beautiful, beautiful perfume bottle. Oh, my God. Circa 1870s, Napoleon III, most likely French. Look at that. Look at the Chatelaine clip. It's gilded gold over silver. Let's go over these beautiful perfume bottles in a moment. I'm going to show you the history of them. What style is this? This is like a Rococo style or revival. It has an urn or an amphora shape. Really quite lovely. And we have a muffin-shaped cap or a mushroom-shaped cap. I don't know if you could see that. This was like something that would actually permeate perfume or scented oils from it to give a lady an aura of smelling good while dangling from her belt. It was almost like some kind of perfume diffuser. Really quite cool. You don't see these too often, and this one is very rare. So in today's antique lesson, we're going to learn more about perfume bottles and old perfume bottles. So what we have here is a Chatelaine perfume bottle. What were Chatelaine perfume bottles, you might ask? Well, it's a small decorative scent bottle that attaches to a chatelaine, which is basically a chain. And it attaches with the chain to a belt or clasp worn by a woman to hold various small items. They served a dual purpose, allowing women to carry and reapply their perfume and acting as a status symbol, with more ornate designs indicating higher social standing. These bottles became increasingly fashionable in the 19th century through the concept of the Chatelaine itself dates back all the way to the Roman times. Convenient and access for their functionality. The Chatelaine allowed women to carry essential items, including perfume, in a period before fashionable purses became common. Aromatherapy and revival. Chatelaine bottles were used also for personal hygiene and could also be used to revive fainting spells with their contents. Aura effect. Some bottles featured a mushroom or perforated cap that allowed the perfume's aroma to diffuse subtly, creating an aura-like effect. A historical context. The Chatelaine. The word Chatelaine comes from the French for a woman who manages a household. The Chatelaine was initially a practical tool for holding keys, but evolved into a fashion accessory. 19th century popularity. The 19th century saw a surge in the popularity of the Chatelaine, which became a key accessory for women of society. Materials of design. Chatelaine bottles were made from a various amount of different luxurious materials, including gold, silver, enamel, crystal, and porcelain. Elaborateness of the bottle, with details like precious stones and fine craftsmanship, served as a display of wealth and refinement and a status symbol. Evolution. The Chatelaine evolved from a utilitarian item to a decorative one, with the scent bottles becoming increasingly specialized and ornate as women's fashion and personal grooming evolved. These tiny perfume dispensers became an almost exclusively female accessory by the 1820s. And as you can see here, collecting them is not cheap. $45,000. Well, this one is gold and enamel. 19th century French object d'art with 18-karat yellow and rose gold. Yeah, not affording this one in my collection anytime soon. So there's different ones that you can collect by different decades of the Victorian era or earlier. Now, I look for the ones with the mushroom caps. And this is a website about collecting perfume bottles. And what do we notice at first glance? What details do we see that provide clues to a period of origin? The Rococo cage work, possibly indicating French origin. A combination of glass and metal. Some of the ones that I have are not glass, they're all metal. Metal elaborate cages typical of the second half of the 19th century in France. Mushroom cap shape, which is a perforated, seen especially in Chatelaine bottles that, while being worn, allow the perfume to diffuse around the wearer. Such caps are also characteristic of this kind of scent bottle made in France. Can we find similar perfume bottles? Oh, here we go, boys and girls. These ones are really, really fancy, especially the ones with the rock crystal and the cage design. And you can see it comes in semi-precious and precious metals. Beautiful. And when they come with the actual chain and the Chatelaine clip that you see over here, they're even more valuable. So this Rococo revival actually started to become popular during the Second Empire reign of Napoleon III from 1852 to 1870. And again, the mushroom caps. I don't know if you can see the perforations, but there's like little perforations or holes that let out the scent and give you an aura of that perfumed oil smell. So why did Victorian women carry Chatelaine scent bottles? I'll tell you why. There's a combination of reasons. Social reasons, including for personal hygiene, reviving themselves or others from fainting spells, and signaling their status. The scent bottles were attached to a chatelaine or chain, a decorative clasp or hook, worn at the waist, and chains dangling from it. Personal hygiene and health. In an era before modern plumbing and deodorant, scent bottles were a crucial part of personal hygiene. Masking odors. The strong fragrance or the perfume or the potpourri contained within the bottle helped to mask unpleasant odors from the street or from people who did not bathe. During the Victorian times, it was all about appearance. Ladies always were putting on a show. So the aromatherapy part is basically, they thought that this would ward off diseases as foul smells were associated with illness. So if you smelled bad, people would be like, she's got the clap. Or, oh, she's dying. All right, so containing smelling salts. Many of these scent bottles contain smelling salts, which was an ammonia compound used to revive a person who had fainted. Yes, they fainted quite often back then. The tight lacing of corsets restricted breathing, causing dizziness and fainting, making smelling salts a necessity. Although, sometimes they did it just to gather up attention from the opposite sex. Fashion and status. For many Victorian women, the scent bottles was also a way to express their social standing and personal taste. The early Victorian era perfume was a costly luxury, available only to the rich, so a scent bottle was a clear sign of wealth and refinement. If you were rocking one of those, it's like today, rocking a Louis Vuitton bag or wearing a Rolex. Customizable jewelry. Chatelaines were highly personalized accessories, depending on a woman's interests. She could attach a variety of items to the chains, not just the perfume bottle, including things like a little tiny notebook, a magnifying glass, sewing tools, along with her decorative scent bottle. Artistic craftsmanship. Scent bottles were often elaborate works of art, made from precious materials like crystal, golds, and enamel. The artistry and expense of the bottle reflected the owner's social standing. Now, this is something I really want to talk to you guys about. A lot of sellers on various different online selling venues call these tier catchers. And there is no such thing ever as a tier catcher. So they do that, and they basically jack the prices up, and they do it as a selling point. So a popular modern myth claims that these bottles were used as tier catchers to collect tears during mourning periods. However, historians and antique experts have widely debunked this story. The myth likely emerged from a romanticized misinterpretation of the sentimental and mourning practices of the era. The decorated bottles were, in reality, for holding perfumes and other scented items. So when you see someone selling it as a lacrimatory bottle or a tear catcher and they have a big chunky price tag on it, don't believe the hype. So I'm going to show you some that you will find. Now, for the most part, I've been collecting for over 10 years, and generally, they almost always never come with the clip that you see up here that went in the waistband, or even the chain still attached to it. They would have, some of them have a little chain attached to it that would attach to another chain on the Chatelaine. You might get that, but for the most part, you won't get a full thing with the clip and the chain, so it's very rare to have the whole ensemble. All right, so this one is really cool. Sometimes, occasionally, this is a rare one. You might see one shaped like a sword. That is the coolest thing ever. Now, this one appears to be sold. We don't know a price for it, but these were popular sometime around the 1870s, 1880s, the sword-shaped Chatelaine perfume bottles. And this one, oof, I would love to add it to my collection. Here's another example of ones you'll find. This one is sterling silver. It's English. Some of them were American and French and European, but this one is really quite beautiful. We have these beautiful repoussé, don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, or like these raised designs that look like very Rococo, very French, but I would say really, really fancy. Then we got this one. This one is the whole ensemble. You get the clip, and you also get the chain, and you get the perfume bottle for $775. Yeah, it's First Dibs. First Dibs should be renamed First Fibs. Okay, here's another example of one beautiful one that sold out for $575. This is a gorgeous crystal one. It's a caged one with griffins, these mythological beasts, and it has a mushroom top. Really quite lovely. It doesn't have the original clip, but it does have the chain. And we can see it's just absolutely lovely. And they were very, very diminutive, very tiny little bottles. They weren't large. Here's another example of ones that I always try to add to my collection. These lovely Italian Murano style, look at the aventurine type of glass. Some of them also have gold flecks in it. Some will have a rhinestone at the top of the cap. Quite lovely and quite expensive. This is actually a good price, $395, because I've seen them sell in the high $700s and $800 price range. Here's some other ones you might find. Some come in porcelain with hand-painted enamel scenes. Some are bohemian glass like you see here with enamel work. Others, again, are metal, some even pewter. This one has little perforations on the top. This was most likely a smelling salt bottle. And here's another one. It looks like it's some kind of glass. I can't really tell. Now these, I am drooling over. I am absolutely drooling over. Look at this one. Sterling silver here on the left. We got this gorgeous clip on the top. This one is just really outrageous. Looks like porcelain discs and scenes painted with what looks like guilloche? Maybe, I don't know, but look at that. Really quite lovely. And this one, sterling silver over glass, cobalt glass. Cobalt glass is highly collectible. By the way, this is cobalt colored glass as well, with the original clip and chains. Now I'm just going to show you some of the prices that you'll see. Here's a beautiful antique cranberry glass with some kind of gild work. It's probably gilded gold, but it's over silver. It's probably not real solid gold. And this one was from 1880, and it apparently sold with a cost line out through $625. I don't know if the seller came up with a little better of a deal, but yeah, these are quite expensive. This one is French. This is a Palais Royal bottle from the Palais Royal. So when someone went on a grand tour or a visit of Europe, they would bring back something from the Palais Royal, which was the palace of the kings and queens, where they would have tourist shops, aligning the streets where you can go shopping. And here's another example of one. So much cheaper than First Fibs. This was on First Fibs, by the way. First Fibs, everything is way too overpriced. And here on Etsy, very affordable, cranberry glass, with some kind of bronze maybe or brass work over it, for only $220.64. It's sold out, by the way. I missed out on that one. Here we got some more. That's really, look at that gorgeous, gorgeous opaline. I believe it's opaline glass. It's definitely French. Look at the gorgeous, gorgeous birds. We have also it came with a pin, a Chatelaine pin or brooch. Really quite lovely, only at $3.80. These are very common but rare at the same time. This is again another Palais Royal souvenir of France. This one's only $197.48. And this one, I have a couple of these rock crystal ones in my collection with the original Chatelaine clip, belt clip and chain. And this one's already in somebody's cart, so you might want to hop on it. 1870s. Yeah, it's only $313.17. Well, let's just all go out shopping. Not going to happen for me because I'm on a budget, unfortunately. So once again, thank you for joining me in another historical video about antiques and different accessories and all sorts of different oddities of the day. Again, 1870s, beautiful Chatelaine perfume scent bottle or aroma bottle. You don't see these very often. These are rare to come by, especially with the original Chatelaine clip and chain. And thank you, and join me on the next one because more interesting antiques will be arriving shortly.